officially and irrevocably, the American F-16 fighters, which Ukrainians have been waiting for since 2023, are finally defending our skies.
We often heard in response that it was impossible, but still, we made possible what was our ambition, our defense need. Now, it is truly a reality in our skies. F-16s, Ukraine. We ensured this.
And while Ukrainians rejoiced at the newly arrived weaponry, the Russians have already started claiming that the fighters are outdated, decommissioned, and unlikely to fly at all.
All of this, right in front of us, decommissioned as F-6 ADFs from the US Air Force.
But the truth will soon be evident to the Russians during the targeting of important objectives. Yes, and who said they haven't been used already?
I ponder it this way. Ukraine got the F-16s, and the next day, a submarine sank. Rostov-on-Don, right at the pier.
This is all at the level of conspiracy theories. But the fact that the Russians will suffer even more losses is beyond doubt.
This means there will be more destroyed occupiers in the vicinity. There will be more missiles and planes shot down, which the Russian criminals used to attack Ukrainian cities.
Although we have no doubt that within a week, the Russian Ministry of Aggression might report that they shot down 10, 20, or even all 50 Americans. But in reality, hitting them won't be that easy. It became known that the transferred fighter jets are equipped with an early warning system for missile attacks. Journalists drew this conclusion based on footage released by the President of Ukraine. According to military information, such a system allows the aircraft to detect incoming missiles in advance and counteract them. The transfer of fighter jets is undoubtedly great news. But how many of them are currently in Ukraine? And will they be able to change the situation on the battlefield? We will tell you about this. Already a closure. The F-16 fighter is an American multifunctional light fourth-generation fighter jet. It was developed back in 1974 by General Dynamics. It was put into operation in 1978. In 68 and in 93, and in 1993, JD sold parts its aviation business to Lockheed Martin, which is the company that continues to produce this aircraft to this day. But in all of this, the only date that truly matters is the date it was put into operation, 1988 year. For over 45 years, this fighter jet has been flying. Its age might indeed be intimidating, but in reality, the F-16 performs excellently. Old, yes, outdated, but far from it. And the countries where it is in service, a total of 25, can attest to that. Moreover, just a few years ago, specifically in 2018, Bahrain ordered 6 aircraft, Slovakia 14 and Bulgaria 8. What makes it so appealing? The international community? It's simple. The F-16 is versatile.
The F-16 is a lightweight multifunctional fighter, a multi-role fighter. It can perform all the functions that the aircraft currently in our service can perform. It can be a fighter, it can be a bomber. To some extent, it can be an attack aircraft. By acquiring the F-16, we get 3-in-1. That is, we transition to a typical NATO standard.
And that is at the very least very convenient, especially for such a price. The cost of an American aircraft ranges from $10 to $50 million, depending on the modifications and year of production. This is relatively inexpensive. As a result, the F-16 is the most mass-produced fourth-generation fighter. As of June 2018, over 4,600 aircraft had been produced.
It has been battle-tested. It is quite cheap due to mass production. Therefore, it is extremely economically advantageous because for minimal money, for minimal cost, you get maximum efficiency. There are many aircraft of this type among allied countries. Therefore, we can both train pilots there and obtain some spare parts, and receive weapon kits for this aircraft. Turning to our closest allies, indeed, mass production is a beneficial thing.
However, why is it so in demand? And here it's worth returning directly to the characteristics of the F-16, which is constantly being modified, with more than 10 improvements existing. The maximum speed of the American is over 2,100 kilometers per hour. Its flight range is over 4,000 kilometers, and the service ceiling is 18. The combat radius of the American is 550 kilometers. In many parameters, the F-16 indeed falls short compared to newer Russian counterparts, such as the Su-35. You can't take words out of a song here. However, we must not forget that dogfights in aircraft are practically non-existent now. The task set for the F-16: to spot the enemy target before they notice you, and of course to destroy it. And here the F-16 has a significant advantage, thanks to its more advanced radar system and missiles. We'll talk about the latter in a moment, but for now, let's confirm the statement that the F-16 outperforms Soviet and Russian aircraft. According to Chinese calculations, the results of air battles between the F-16 and Soviet-Russian aircraft are unprecedented. In simulated scenarios, the American aircraft achieved 65 victories in 65 air engagements with Soviet-Russian planes. The statistics took into account various conflicts where American and Soviet-Russian fighters were on opposing sides. This ranges from aerial duels over Syria to the ongoing complex and intense war. In Yugoslavia and everywhere else, it was the Americans who won. Now, regarding the armaments, the F-16 has a very impressive arsenal. It includes air-to-air missiles, air-to-ground missiles, guided and unguided bombs. Specifically, the F-16 uses AIM-120 AMRAAM guided missiles and RIST, the high-speed anti-radiation missile AGM-87. ARM, the anti-ship missile AGM-84. Harpoon. As for the armaments on the F-16s directly in Ukraine, it's a mystery shrouded in darkness. However, specialists from the Defense Express portal were able to shed some light. They noted that the demonstrated fighters are armed with two types of air-to-air missiles. IM-9, with infrared guidance for destroying targets in the close range, and AIM-120, which are guided by radar emissions, are responsible for medium and long range. Such a choice of missiles may indicate that the F-16s will play a significant role in Ukraine's air defense system. Additionally, we hope they will significantly reduce the number of enemy carriers of guided bombs.
How are they used? A Russian fighter approaches with bombs, approaches closer within approximately 30-40 kilometers, drops the bomb, which then follows GPS to the target while the fighter turns around and leaves. That is, it does not approach to the line of combat contact closer than 25-30 kilometers. If we get F-16s with missiles with a range of 150 kilometers, we will be able to hit Russian guided bomb carriers.
All of this sounds extremely optimistic, and undoubtedly it would be desirable, but what about the number of fighters? And now it's time for reality. The exact number of F-16s was not specified by the president of Ukraine. However, the media reported that Ukraine received 10 aircraft out of the promised 79. This number is clearly insufficient. By the end of the year, it may double. At least that's what The Economist writes. How it will actually turn out is still too difficult to predict. Currently, the reality is that the transfer of F-16s is undoubtedly the best news in recent months. However, their number is too small to turn the tide on the battlefield. Although, there are nuances here as well. Ukrainian pilots have repeatedly surprised us. We hope it's time for a series of good news. And when the F-16 sinks a new ship or destroys advanced Russian weaponry, we promise to tell you about it and show it. In the meantime, like this video and write in the comments about which other weapons you would like to hear. And be sure to subscribe to our new Arsenal channel. The link is in the description below the video.